everyone knows about Harry and Meghan and how they're not a part of the royal family anymore. But I bet you didn't know about all these others. I'm your host, Michaela, and today I'll be telling you the top 10 royal members who lost their royal status. And make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you know every time we upload a new video, but now let's get started. Number 10, Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew announced his decision to, quote, step back from royal duties in November 2019 in the wake of backlash to his interviews surrounding his relationship with disgraced financier and convicted intimate offender Jeff. It has become clear to me over the last few days that the circumstances relating to my former association with Jeff has become a major disruption to my family's work and the valuable work going on in the many organizations and charities that I am proud to support, he said in a statement. Therefore, I have asked Her Majesty if I may step back from public duties for the foreseeable future. And she has given her permission. Since the interview, the Queen's second son has been widely criticized for not showing empathy for the victims of Jeff, who passed by taking his own life in jail in New York City in August while awaiting trial on multiple intimate charges, and for his decision to stay at the financier's New York home in December 2010. That came just months after Jeff had served 13 months of an 18-month sentence. Andrew also said he had no recollection of ever meeting Virginia, who alleges she was forced to be intimate with the royal 3 times between 1999 and 2002, in London, New York, and on a private Caribbean island owned by Jeff when she was 17 years old. Number 9, Princess Martha Louise. In 2019, the Norwegian royal agreed to stop using her princess designation for her business activities, but retained it while working in her official capacity as a royal, after the Norwegian royal family objected to the title of her princess and the shaman, speaking to her with her American fiancé, spiritual guide and gifted healer Shaman Durek. In 2022, she went a step further, relinquishing all her royal patronages and stepping back from serving in a working role as a royal, in order, quote, to create a clear dividing line between her business activities and her role as a member of the royal family. Number 8, the Swedish royal grandchildren. As of August 2019, the 5 grandchildren of King Carl XVI Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden are no longer members of the Swedish royal house after their grandfather removed their titles of their royal highness. All will retain their titles of prince and princess, but these titles will become personal and any future spouses or children will not have a right to them. The purpose of the retraction was to cut back on the royal duties the children would be expected to perform. Number 7, Princess Mako. Mako, a niece of Japan's Emperor Naruhito, married her longtime love, Kei Kamuro, in a simple ceremony at a registry office on October 26. In marrying Kei, who is not of royal descent, she gives up her royal title and everything that comes with it. The couple declared their intent to marry 4 years ago, but negative public sentiment and her father's withheld approval, plus Kei's enrollment in Fordham Law School, postponed the wedding until now. Princess Mako, who turned down the $1.3 million usually given by the government to royal women who lose their status through marriage, revealed that she had PTSD as a result of consistent negative attacks through the media. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience caused, and I'm grateful for those who have continued to support me, she said at her wedding, according to the BBC. For me, Kei is irreplaceable. Marriage was a necessary choice for us. Number 6, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. On January 8th, 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan announced their plans to step back as senior royals and split their time between the UK and North America. The couple wrote, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make the transition this year and starting to carve out a progressive new role within the institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent, while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. It is with your encouragement, particularly over the last few years, that we feel prepared to make this adjustment. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and our patronages. This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, while also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity. While the couple retain their HRH titles, they are not permitted to use them. Harry and Meghan now live in Santa Barbara with their children Archie and Lilibet. Number 5, the children of Princess Anne and Prince Edward. When one looks at the history of the modern British royals, Harry and Meghan's choice had a clear precedent. 2 of the Queen's children, Princess Anne and Prince Edward, decided against making their children princes and princesses, opting to let them live a more normal life in accordance with their likely futures. Anne's children, Peter and Zara, do not have titles at all, while Edward's children, Lady Louise and James, Viscount Severin, go by secondary titles as happens with the earls. The prince is currently not a duke. While the choices aligned with the hierarchy guidelines, the Queen's children did show a clear preference for for these ultimate results. Number 4, Edward VIII. Prince Harry wasn't the first one to fall in love with an American with a marriage history, though the international romance that preceded this did not have as warm of a reception. Back in 1936, not even being the king would protect Edward VIII from the controversy over his desire to wed divorced socialite Wallis Simpson. Due to opposition from prime ministers and the Church of England, it would be impossible for the monarch to easily remain on the throne after going through with the marriage, so he decided to abdicate and pass his position to his brother, who became George VI. Number 3, Juan Carlos I. After Spain re-established its constitutional monarchy in 1978, King Juan Carlos I enjoyed a popular reign for nearly 40 years as he helped his country in its transition to democracy. After some scandals and minor health problems, the monarch decided to abdicate the throne in 2014, citing the reason for his decision to be personal out of a combination of his aging status and his desire for his son to have a long reign. He closely followed Pope Benedict XVI, Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, and King Albert II of Belgium in this move, highlighting a trend towards a retirement of sorts for those with lifetime positions. Juan Carlos I retired from official duties altogether in June 2019. Number 2, Archie Mountbatten Windsor. When Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, announced that they were expecting their first child, there was a lot of talk about what titles the new royal would ultimately receive. Unlikely to directly ascend to the throne, the baby wasn't automatically entitled to become a prince or princess, so the world was contemplating whether Queen Elizabeth II would make a special exception, or if the child would receive a secondary title like the Earl of Dumbarton, which Harry shares. The couple decided against giving their son a title at all, and instead named him Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, or Master Archie for short. Number 1, Diana, Princess of Wales. Upon divorcing Prince Charles in 1996, the former future queen lost the official designation of Her Royal Highness, meaning that much of the former royal protocol she once enjoyed no longer applied. She did, however, retain an allowance, her apartment at Kensington Palace, and the ability to use St. James's Palace to entertain, as well as certain royal privileges, like the use of the aircraft of the Royal Squadron. So all was not lost. But maybe it wasn't her choice at all, passing away and losing her status. They say she was fed up with incessant press attention and intrusions into her private life, so Diana faked her passing. But Paul, one of Diana's former butlers, said that the princess predicted her own passing in a car crash. Apparently she was so scared 10 minutes before her passing, she wrote to Paul saying that there was a plot made by a member of the royal family, and that her car's brakes would be tampered with and she would suffer serious head injuries. And all of this would be so that the Prince of Wales could marry again, because in the royal family one isn't supposed to divorce and remarry, so the only way it would be allowed is if she passed away. The letter she wrote read, "I am sitting here at my desk today in October, longing for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep strong and hold my head high. This particular phase of my life is the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure and serious head injury in order to make the path clear for him to marry Tiggy. Camilla is nothing but a decoy." But that is all, thanks for watching and we will see you next time.